Hi, I'm Marc, and welcome to the weekly Outside Views report on the politics of both Americas. US President Joe Biden could have an internal party competitor if he runs for the White House again. The author Marianne Williamson hinted at her bid for the presidential nomination. When asked if she was going to compete, she told Medal on the Hill, "We are on the phone right now, but if we were on FaceTime, you'd see me wink," she said. She then explained the reasons behind her application in the article published on Thursday. In the US, oligarchs, fossil fuel companies, or arms manufacturers suck the juice out of democracy, she was quoted as saying by Medal on the Hill. Williamson wanted to be in the White House for the Democrats as early as 2020, but she dropped out of the race before the party's primaries because of poor poll numbers. There has been speculation in recent weeks that Williamson may want to run again for the Democratic nomination. The best-selling author of self-help books fueled the rumors herself. In the past, however, she has also applied for another political office as an independent. She announced an important announcement for the beginning of March. Should Williamson officially enter the Democratic race, her chances would be almost hopeless, though. Two Pakistani brothers have been released from the US Guantanamo detention center in Cuba. Abdul and Mohammed Rabbani have been released and returned to their homeland. That's what the Pentagon said in Washington on Thursday. Both brothers were arrested in Pakistan in 2002 and taken to Guantanamo in 2004. Born in 1967, Abdul Rabbani was considered one of the oldest inmates of the controversial prison at a US military base in Cuba. US authorities had accused him of working for the suspected mastermind of the September 11 attacks, Khalid Sheikh Mohammed, and of running a safe house for the Al-Qaeda terrorist network in Karachi in Pakistan. However, an assessment revealed that he was said to have no specific insight into Al-Qaeda's operational plans. And born in 1969, Mohammed is accused of having recruited his older brother for extremist circles. He is also said to have organized travel and financial support for the mastermind behind an attack on the US-guided missile destroyer USS Cole in 2000 that killed 17 people. However, both men leave custody without ever being charged. They also accused the US Secret Service of having been tortured by CIA officers before being transported to Guantanamo. After the brothers were released, there are now 32 inmates in the prison camp. Of these, 18 prisoners are earmarked for release, waiting for the United States to reach an agreement with the country that wants to take them. Brazil is temporarily suspending beef exports to its largest exporter, China, following a case of mad cow disease. In view of the confirmation of a case, the Ministry of Agriculture has taken all government measures for the Brazilian meat market, as the Ministry of Agriculture in Brasilia said on Wednesday evening. Accordingly, the disease, also known as BSE, occurred in a cattle on a small farm in the city of Marabá, in the Amazon state of Pará. The animal was killed and burned on the spot. Samples were sent to the World Organization for Animal Health, the reference laboratory in Canada. According to the state of Pará, this was an atypical case with no risk of spreading. Brazil is one of the largest agricultural producers in the world. Eating meat contaminated with BSE can cause the deadly Creutzfeldt-Jakob brain disease in humans. US Supreme Court justices are showing restraint in a case that could undermine a fundamental principle of today's internet. It's about the reach of a legal US regulation from the 1990s, which exempts online services from liability for the publication of content created by others. The rule known as Section 230 is considered an important protective shield against lawsuits, under which platforms such as Google, Facebook, or Twitter were able to develop. The 9 Supreme Court justices on Tuesday held a hearing on a case centered on Google's video platform YouTube. It's a complaint filed by the family of an American student who was killed in the terrorist attack by the Islamic State terrorist militia in November 2015 in Paris. They want to hold YouTube accountable because the platform's algorithms recommended ISIS propaganda videos to users. In their questions to the lawyers, the judges indicated that they were rather skeptical about the plaintiff's position. Brazilian President Luiz Inácio Lula da Silva has confirmed his idea for an international mediation initiative to settle the Ukraine war. At a time when humanity needs peace in the face of so many challenges, this marks the first anniversary of the war between Russia and Ukraine, is what Lula wrote on Twitter on Friday. There's an urgent need for a group of countries not involved in the conflict to take responsibility for starting negotiations to restore peace, he wrote. On Thursday, Brazil voted in favor of a UN resolution in which the international community once again called on Russian President Vladimir Putin by a large majority to withdraw his troops. The permanent representative of the largest country in Latin America to the United States, Ronaldo Costa Filho, called on the international community to redouble its diplomatic efforts. It is high time to start peace talks instead of heating up the conflict, he said. Lula brought the Peace Club, which include Brazil and China, into play when German Chancellor Scholz visited Brazil at the end of January. Ukraine rejects a Russian-dictated peace and demands that Russian troops completely withdraw from Ukrainian soil. Following Russia's suspension of the last major nuclear disarmament treaty with the United States, Washington intends to continue fulfilling its obligations. Nothing changes in terms of the commitments we have to fulfill, said Pentagon spokeswoman Sabrina Singh on Wednesday. Russia's step was unfortunate and irresponsible. The US government believes that a responsible nuclear power must continue to work with other countries around the world. The commitments under the New START treaty are taken seriously, she stressed. Amid massive tensions with the West, Kremlin chief Vladimir Putin announced on Tuesday that he would suspend the New START treaty on mutual nuclear arms controls and the limitation of nuclear warheads. According to the Foreign Ministry, Russia intends to continue to adhere to the agreed upper limit for nuclear warheads, though. The Pentagon spokeswoman also made it clear that Washington and Moscow generally continue to communicate. It's not that we cut off communications. We welcome communications with Russia, she said. And this concludes this week's video on the politics of the Americas. I'll see you in my next video. I'll be back.